All right, so Gulf Breeze, Florida won over my family's hearts. Probably it's been like three and a half years ago or something like that. We fell in love with it coming from a larger city. But do you know that there are some things, majority of it is when we talk to you guys, why Gulf Breeze just really isn't your cup of tea and you'd rather live in another area in the Pensacola Metro. I'm gonna be going over 5 things that you may not like about Gulf Breeze, but at the end of each one, I'll throw in a little pro on, even though this might be a negative, this might also be a pro depending on how you look at it. First things first is there's many times that when you guys are watching this channel, it is the first time, where the heck is Gulf Breeze, Florida? So if we are talking about Gulf Breeze, for the most part, it's in the Pensacola Metro, which is in the far northwest corner of Florida within the Panhandle. Many say that Pensacola Metro is more like Alabama than it is actually Florida. The good thing about that though is you get to take advantage of the no state income tax. All right, so yeah, it's in this, furthest northwest. But if we're talking about Gulf Breeze in regards to proper, so there's 2 portions I'm going to be covering in Gulf Breeze, and this might also play to the 5th reason why you might not look like Gulf Breeze, is we're going to be talking about proper, which is like your city limits of Gulf Breeze, and then you have the Tiger Point, Oriole Beach area, or I guess Midway area, which is kind of your unincorporated area, but it is also considered Gulf Breeze in regards to like your address and such. So if you are going over into Pensacola, the heart of Pensacola downtown, from Gulf Breeze proper, you're looking at roughly like a 13-minute drive. Essentially, you just got to hop over that 3-mile bridge and you're just going to land you directly in downtown Pensacola. If you are coming from the Tiger Point area, you're looking at closer to about a 23-minute drive over into Pensacola downtown. And then again, another thing to mention is Gulf Breeze is out on this like peninsula. So you are surrounded by water on 3 sides of Gulf Breeze. And a lot of people, think, well, is that going to cause a lot of flooding or anything like that? Yes, there are flood zones within Gulf Breeze. The good thing is when you are looking at purchasing real estate here, we will look into that, whether you are in a flood zone or whether you are not within a flood zone. All right, let's go and dive into these reasons real quick. So the first one being, and this is actually a misconception that came upon us, is there is no beach to actually go to within Gulf Breeze. And the reason that I bring this up, when we were first time outside looking in, we saw like a little neighborhood area in Gulf Breeze called Oriole Beach. We're like, oh, that's so cool, that must be a cool little beach area. That is not the case. So there is no beach. In fact, if you do want to take advantage of those beautiful beaches that we do have in the Emerald Coast, you are going to have to go over into Pensacola Beach, the closer one, or a little further down over into Navarre Beach. How far are those beaches? Again, I'm going to be taking this from both Gulf Breeze proper and then also down the highway. I promise I won't say that every single time, but for the purpose of these notes, I'm going to make sure that I do mention that when we are talking about the distance to the beaches. So if we're talking about going to Pensacola Beach from proper, the good thing is you just have that quick bridge drive over there, which is only like 6 minutes. Now, note on this is during tour season, that might be a little bit longer. Tack on, I'd say probably about 5 minutes, looking at closer to 10 minutes. If we are going further down from the Tiger Point area, going over into Pensacola Beach, you're looking at roughly about 18 minutes. Same thing happens. Well, okay, so here's the great thing. If you are like more on the Tiger Point area and you're coming from east to west, you get to miss a lot of that tourist traffic that is coming over from Pensacola downtown, because coming from that direction from pretty much northwest over east to the on-ramp that goes to the bridge that then goes to Pensacola Beach, it does get a little packed because that's where a lot of your tourists are coming from. So that's kind of a good thing about down the highway when you are accessing the beach. Now, if you're accessing Navarre Beach, which is a little further down, a little further east from Gulf Breeze, from proper, you're looking at about a 33-minute drive, and Tiger Point, since it is closer to Navarre, you're looking at about a 22-minute drive. All right, so what's the pro to this? So yes, we don't have beaches. Yes, you do have to travel to get over to the beach. A good pro to this though is this makes this a unique tourist buffer zone. What does that mean? It means that the tourists are going over to the beach, and yes, there are, like, I say proper definitely gets hit with this tourist traffic more than down the highway does, but you are away from the beaches, that craziness that does happen on the beaches during tourist season being within Gulf Breeze. And so that is nice. That is a good pro, not having those awesome beaches located within Gulf Breeze. The second thing that you may not like if you're kind of looking to call Gulf Breeze your home is restaurants. Okay, so the good thing about the restaurants in Gulf Breeze is the majority of them are locally owned, great food, but the bad thing about it is we don't have very many of them. And so after a certain amount of time, you're kind of going to the outskirts. You're going to Pensacola, you're going down to Navarre, even over to Pensacola Beach to get more of a variety of your restaurants. And a lot of people, it gets a little old. I love this restaurant, but I'm getting to a point where I want something new. I want something different. And so a lot of people do venture outside of Gulf Breeze in order to access other restaurants, to access that variety of restaurants. And you might be the type of person, you could eat the same restaurant, say, every single Thursday or once a month or whatever it might be. It's just one of those things that we have heard and that we have experiences that we wish we had more variety when we are talking about your restaurants. Now, what's the pro to this? The biggest pro that I've seen moving into Gulf Breeze in regards to restaurants is Taco Tuesday. We have, 3 or 4 great Mexican restaurants in Gulf Breeze, and Taco Tuesday is fantastic. Where I came from, Taco Tuesday wasn't that big of a deal. They might give you like 20% off or something like that. Where here it's like, like $1.50 tacos, $1.50 margaritas, and Taco Tuesday here is amazing at the restaurants within Gulf Breeze. The third thing that you might not like about Gulf Breeze is going to be that cost of living, and the majority of it that I am talking about is going to be your groceries and then also your real estate. Real quick though, before I do dive into that, guys, if you are looking at purchasing real estate in the Pensacola metro area, give us a call or text that phone number right below. Right there, we have assembled the best team of realtors to help you out with all your real estate needs when purchasing in the area. But if you're not quite ready to purchase, make sure you follow along by smashing that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, notification bell, that way you're notified every single time I put out a brand new video. All right, so let's dive into this cost of living. And like I said, these are the 2 biggest things that when we are talking about cost of living. We have noticed with groceries that as soon as you cross that 3-mile bridge, groceries do seem to be more expensive in our grocery stores over here. How much? I just look at bistliving.net, I believe is what it is. And if we just could do the cost of living index, pretty much, you know, where if it's 100 your national average, it's above it, it's more expensive. If it's below it, then it's cheaper. I didn't necessarily compare it to the whole state of Florida. I'm just pretty much comparing Gulf Breeze to Pensacola to show you those numbers. When we are talking about once you cross that bridge, it does get a little bit more expensive. So when we're talking about groceries in Gulf Breeze, you're looking at a 107.2 as compared to Pensacola. You're looking at a 96.6. So what is that? Almost, no, it's a little bit more than 10 points, 10% more expensive in Gulf Breeze in regards to groceries as compared to your Pensacola mainland. Another one is housing. Now this cost of living index number does incorporate purchasing and then also renting within Gulf Breeze and then also Pensacola. So if we are looking at Gulf Breeze, you're looking at a cost of living index on housing of a 138.3 compared to Pensacola, which comes in at a 63. Guys, that is a huge difference. And I can tell you the biggest reason is because people want to be in Gulf Breeze. Like, they come over here, it's like, I want to be here. This is awesome. I want to live here. I want to be a part of the community. And so with that, our real estate is a little bit pricier as compared to Pensacola. How much pricier though? Because I throw that number out there and you want real numbers, you want details, you want that median sales price. So if we are looking at your overall median sales price in Gulf Breeze, this does incorporate proper and also that Midway, Tiger Point, Oriole Beach area. Median sales price as of January of 2025 is coming in at $418,000. Now my pro that I'm gonna wrap into this, I'm gonna wait till the end on that one because the pro is kind of going off these numbers as well too. All right, so then your single family comes in at a median sales price of $450,000 within Gulf Breeze. Again, these numbers are as of January of 2025. As compared to Pensacola though, Pensacola comes in much lower on that median sales price at $280,000, and that is everything lumped in one number, so that's your overall. But if we dive into your single family, median sales price in Pensacola is $277,000. Now you might look at it, what is going to be the pro of something being more expensive? Well, it's more of that year over year. So if we're looking at your year over year gains in these real estate prices, in the equity, if you do own here, Gulf Breeze overall, the year to year change in that number is up 23.7%. That means on average, you gain 23.7% in equity. Now I know there's so many more factors that go into this, but the fact that the number is up double digits, even up into the 20s, is showing that if you own a property here in Gulf Breeze, you are experiencing some equity growth as compared to Pensacola. Pensacola was down 0.99% year over year comparing January of 24 to January of 2025. So it might be a reason that you want to get into Gulf Breeze now, because we are experiencing those equity gains, which has been awesome to see considering that we do own 2 properties here. Let's dive in even deeper though. When we're looking at your single family homes, the equity growth year over year in Gulf Breeze is up 25%. Single families over in Pensacola it's up, it's not down, but it's only up 0.04%. So there you go. There's your pro in that. Like I said, you look at it and you're like, it's more expensive. Why would that be a pro? But if you do own a property here, we are experiencing equity gains, which has been amazing. The fourth thing that you may not like about Gulf Breeze is the lack of master plans. We do not really have master plans within Gulf Breeze. For those of you, just let me give you a quick explainer here that don't know what a master plan is. When I think about master plans, because we came from an area of Colorado that was loaded with master plans, like Houston, Texas is like the master plan king of the United States, right? Constantly building these new master plans. Is you've got a community, an HOA community, a home with a homeowners association. You usually got pools, parks, gyms, all kinds of different things added into that community. You don't necessarily really get that in Gulf Breeze, whether we're talking about proper or even down the highway. The closest thing that I could think of that we could kind of consider a master plan, even within this area, within this peninsula, you're gonna have to go down to Holly by the Sea, which is down in Navarre, but you aren't really gonna get that in Gulf Breeze. And we have noticed a lot of you do not like that. If you want something newer, if you want to be a part of that community, you're just not going to find it here in Gulf Breeze. Now, what is going to be the pro of that without having master plans? Well, I mean, the one thing is you have a lot of communities within the area that have a lot of character, and we have a lot of you who are reaching out. You're like, I don't want that cookie cutter style house. I don't want to look over and the neighbor 4 houses down has the exact same floor plan as I do. It's just flipped, right? And so if you are looking for houses with character and then also larger lots within Gulf Breeze, you can find an abundance of that within the area. And a lot of you that we talk to, that's what you're looking for. You're like, I'm not really looking for the master plans. And if you do, then I'd say, hey, go check out Pace and Beulah area, right? But those of you who want the character in the houses that do want the larger lots, you are going to find that within Gulf Breeze. All right, the fifth thing that you may not like about Gulf Breeze, and I call this the Gulf Breeze separation. What is that? I told you I was going to incorporate how we're talking about proper, and then that down the highway area, Tiger Point, and then also Oriole Beach. This is one of those things that once you relocate into the Gulf Breeze, you don't really know, right? You're looking up at a house, you're like, I mean, this address has Gulf Breeze in it, and this address has Gulf Breeze in it, but unless you're actually involved in this area, you do realize that separation does cause a few problems. The majority of it has been, and we have actually had friends relocate from this Tiger Point area down into proper, is youth sports, because there are some youth sports that are offered over in proper that then aren't offered in the Tiger Point area, and those parents are having to drive down to proper, you know, sometimes 3 times a week in order to bring them to practice and think about games and all those things. And people don't really like that. They're like, you know, I want to be somewhere where it doesn't really take that much. And then you're in proper, you could take a golf cart over to the sports fields. You could take, you know, your kids could take their scooter and all those things. And that is one of the main reasons why we do see that people decide to live in proper as compared to down the highway, is they want that. They want that kind of that community feel. Now, I'm not going to say that the Tiger Point, Oriole Beach area, you don't have that community feel, because we do have like golf cart parades and all this stuff down in this area. But people just want that. And you do. When you're down in Gulf Breeze proper, you see kids on their scooters and electric bikes that are just riding around and at the sports field all the freaking time. That community thing is something that is very present over in proper. And then also with the separation, and so like this down the highway area, we have Oriole Beach Elementary, where down in Gulf Breeze you got Gulf Breeze Elementary, Gulf Breeze Middle School, and Gulf Breeze High School. And Oriole Beach is then going to filter over into Gulf Breeze Middle School once they are done with Oriole Beach Elementary School. And so a lot of parents think about that, like, I kind of want them to go with kids that they already know who are going to be going into that middle school. And so even though Oriole Beach is a school that directly feeds into Gulf Breeze Middle School, there is still a little, it seems like a little bit of a separation, that we are kind of separated from that system a little bit, because you have kids who are over in proper who are all together all the time, pretty much from elementary school all the way up into high school, where we're kind of like the kids on the outside that end up finally going into their system. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate it. If you are looking at purchasing real estate in the Pensacola Metro, we are your top relocation experts. Give us a call or text that phone number right below. Right below it there. We always answer, doesn't matter date or time, but if you're not quite ready to purchase, follow along, educate yourself by smashing that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time we put out a brand new video. Till next time, love ya.